for tuning into AM radio. Now, I have a story that I almost completely forgot and would have been lost to the sands of time. But there was a point in time when a family member of mine used to drive ambulances for a living. And I remember we were hanging out a lot at that time. And one day he just says, "Hey, do you want to come to the station one night?" And I was like, "I don't know." He said, "It'd be you and one of my other cousins." And I was like, "Okay, if somebody else goes, that'd be cool." And he was like, "Before we go, I should let you know that he thought it was haunted. I mean, he would tell me stories such as the microwave that they had at the station would go off. Um, Bottles would fall on the ground, and that they would see like kind of like almost it seemed like somebody would turn a corner really fast, and he would be like, "There's no one else there." And I was like, "Oh, okay, all right, yeah, I'll definitely go." Now, he said we were gonna go for the night, and that it was gonna be pretty much at the station. It was gonna be him and his partner. They would always work in pairs. So he picked me up and my cousin, and we went. Now I remember right when we got there, it was this huge, looked like this huge warehouse, and we're like, "Yeah, this place is pretty big." And then right when you enter the door on the side, it almost shrinks down to this gigantic thing to this narrow hallway. It was so narrow that it was like, oh, okay, you could definitely see where they would be able to bring in stretchers or any kind of other equipment, but besides that, it was it wasn't as big as like normal buildings or building entrances. Now, right as soon as you would see it, I remember you would see like this stairway that would lead to a metal scaffolding, and like at the top, that's where their room was. And I was like, okay, so that's where we're gonna be hanging out. I think on the bottom there was a couple other doorways, and he's like, that's like the manager's office or his other superiors. So yeah, we would have no business going in there. And then to the right, a little bit further down, was, I'm not kidding you, it was like a chain link fence gate. And he's like, I forgot to tell you guys, that's where we take the bodies. And we're like, what do you mean? He's like, yeah, any kind of corpses or cadavers, anything, that's where we take them, behind that fence. And I was just like, yeah, that, me being the kind of the zombie nut that I am, I was like, that wouldn't keep anything out. And he was like, yeah, there's bodies back there. I wasn't that morbid, and I didn't ask to see it, but he's like, yeah, they're back there. I was like, okay, good. So I remember we walked upstairs, and when you get to the top, it's all literally a metal scaffolding. As you're walking, it just echoes through the whole room that you're in. And then there's like this huge long window. It has to be at least like 10, 15 feet long. And that when you look in, you could see like the living quarters, the kitchen, and pretty much that was like almost all one room. And then when you enter the the living quarters and everything from the doorway at the end of the hall or the end of the walkway, and you could see two bedrooms where that was like well, they're bedrooms. And we're like, okay. We started hanging out, just chit chatting. And then I believe my cousin that had the job, he's like, I gotta catch a quick nap, just in case it's like a long night tonight. Had to be a little rested, so he let me and my cousin pretty much just stay up. They had an Xbox, so I think Halo 2 just came out, so we were playing that. Well, my other cousin that came, he was like, I'm gonna crash out too. So he also went into the bedroom and he was gonna sleep on the floor. So I'm sitting there playing. Then all of a sudden, as I'm looking at the TV screen, the window that we passed by, the long window, is behind me. And the light that's shooting in, I could see something run behind me. Like I just see the silhouette fill up the room really quick. And I was like, I know I saw it. I wasn't on anything. I was sober. And I was like, no way, I don't know what that was. It couldn't have been anybody running or walking behind me because you would hear the footsteps, you would hear like the loud echoing, you'd hear anything, and then in fact you would think that somebody would come in the door if somebody did show up. And I remember just being frozen. I remember pushing pause on the game, and I had to go ahead and try to collect myself. And I just kept thinking, I was like, how do I explain this? How do I, what did I just see? The only thing that I could, recall from that brief, like, millisecond of time was that it looked like somebody was running on the scaffolding, and they cast their shadow in front of me where I'm looking where the TV is. And I was like, I didn't know how to make it out. And then I remember, I don't know how long I was sitting there like that. I don't know how long I was thinking about it. The game was on pause. Then my cousin wakes up and he tells us, he's like, I think I need to take you guys home just in case a call comes in. I don't have to worry about you being here and my supervisor's showing up. I'll just take you home now. And that way I don't have to worry. I was more than willing to go. I had gotten freaked out. I didn't know how to explain it. And I told him, I was like, I thought I saw like something I thought I saw something run behind me, and I saw the shadow on the wall when I was playing the game. He's like, we see that all the time. And I was like, I didn't hear any footsteps. I didn't hear anything. And he was like, no, we see it. He like shadow people all the time here. He's like, if you saw it behind you, he's like, yeah, I guarantee if you would have probably stayed there the whole night, you would have probably saw one in the corner of your eye. You would have saw one probably behind the kitchen counter. He's like, they like to duck around there a lot. And then I kept thinking, I was like, what if that was happening, but I just was so focused on Halo 2 that I didn't see that happen. So I was like, I was freaked out. He winds up taking us home. The excitement of, traveling in an ambulance without being hurt was kind of drowned out by the idea of, seeing a shadow person. But to this day, I think about it. I almost forgot about this whole thing. But I'm glad I'm being able to record it and keep it as long as this channel's up. But that's it. That's it for this. If you have any questions, leave it in the section, and leave a like, and I'll try to answer as many as I can. Thanks.